Alright, my apologies, chat. It appears as though my internet died for a second, but now relaunching the stream, I think everything should. Now let's. Something was just making my internet go absolutely fucking insane. So. Now, all of those celebrities that glaze Louis Farrakhan is about par for the course when it comes to Yakubian energy here on JuneTeenth celebration. But now, we're going to ask, where did it lead to? Where did all of these beautiful dynamics within the community that spread to, what are they called? 5%ers, to people like MF Doom, Mos Def, and Talib Kweli? Well, enter our boy, K-Flex. If I can find it here. There we go.
K-Flex up in this motherfucker nickel. K-Flex up in this motherfucker nickel. The original Flex, nigga. Recognize this shit. Coming at your ass with the new underground album, nigga. Wash your ass. Now the title of this album, Wash Your Ass, has two meanings. It has a literal meaning and a motherfucking metaphor. And the metaphor for Wash Your Ass is that this industry, the hip-hop industry, is like a big, funky-ass coochie, and it needs to be dushed. There's a lot of shit going on with this East Coast, West Coast shit that has not been properly addressed. A few niggas done got shot and everybody's scared to talk about this shit. That's right, I'm talking about Tupac and Biggie. That shit didn't have nothing to do with no East Coast, West Coast shit. It's two niggas who had a problem with each other. We gonna address that shit right here on this album, nigga. But first, we gotta check a lot of shit going on here on the West Coast. We gotta put the West Coast back on the top of this bitch. Too much bullshit going on. Too many motherfuckers on the West Coast sucking East Coast dick. Niggas ain't representing the West Coast like they should. A nigga can't go to a club on the West Coast and hear West Coast shit. All you hear is New York shit at the clubs. Even on the radio in the West Coast, all you hear is East Coast shit. It's sad, buddy. It's sad, player. Niggas can't even do shows out here on the West Coast, and we from this motherfucker. Now niggas scared to do the hardcore gangster shit. Niggas who did that gangster shit back in the day, now these niggas doing gospel records and shit. Next thing you know, they gonna be doing remixes with Kurt Franklin up in this motherfucker. And you trying to tell me these motherfuckers don't need to wash their ass? Niggas grew up in the wilderness.
Now that's our boy, Tariq Nasheed. He is the modern day, what I would consider Al Sharpton type, Ray Scripter type. You know, just the kind of guy that wants to make money off of your little misfortunes. Now, let's start rolling through Mr. Marcus Sanders, K-Flex, professional race baiter. Let's begin. The first post by Munia. The minute leaders like Castro and others start talking about equal rights for blacks and whites, they suddenly become dictators and tyrants, spelled incorrectly. Not only did Fidel Castro and Cuba help end apartheid in South Africa, he also helped the African nation of Angola win its independence. Now look at this, chat. Look at this marvel of beauty. An absolute real piece of work. But now, we have Tariq's original start here. Before he was this hardcore black supremacist, before he was this radio show host, quote-unquote radio show host, who just talks about the same old fucking race grifty bullshit, my boy K-Flex was actually a pickup artist. Let's skip in a little.
Welcome, Tariq King Flex Nasheed.
Let's go! JuneTeenth, JuneTeenth. JuneTeenth, JuneTeenth.
Tariq, there is so much to learn and not a ton of time, so let me get started.
Yes.
Tell me, what is a Mac? Do you teach people how to be a Mac? What's a Mac?
Yes, I do. I teach people how to be Macs. The word Mac is like really loosely based now, but the definition of a Mac is a guy who's successful at anything he does.
Right.
It could be business, entertainment.
Yes.
The most common thing that men want to be successful at, dating women.
Yes, yes.
And this is what I do. I give guys Mac makeovers.
And, okay. How would I become a Mac and be completely honest, and don't spare me? I want to learn, how do I become a Mac?
You know what? A lot of guys, all men are Macs.
Yes.
All of these guys here, they have Macs in them. This
Yes.
is why the book is called The Mac Within.
Yes, yes.
All these Macs. Give it up, Macs.
It's
all
like
these Macs.
It's the Jedi principle. It's channeling that Mac within you, right? Okay, forget it. I won't talk. You go.
During this time, Tariq Nasheed looks so much happier than what he looks now. When he was a pickup artist, kind of what would it be, like a Rollo Tomasi type, he was a lot happier doing the rap music, talking this stupid bullshit about picking up bitches that he probably more than likely never even picked up. And now he's like resorted himself to being this kind of a miserable person. Either that or he's the greatest shitposter of all time, like some sort of Andy Kaufman kind of character. But it's just such a dynamic to see that 11 years later, Tariq Nasheed is almost this constantly angry person, where he's always got Whitey on the mind.
Probably Star Wars references don't help.
That's
Yeah.
not Mackers.
So it's kind of like on Star Trek when they went to Romulan 9. Go ahead. Anyway, sorry.
Don't do that. That's
Don't
not
do that.
Mackers.
Yeah.
That's not Mackers.
So tell me immediately. Talk
Okay,
about
so,
me.
okay.
Let's fix Conan. Let's do it.
To be a Mac, you got to find out what your assets are.
Okay.
You got to focus on your assets and don't worry about your deficiencies.
Right.
That's the
right.
number one thing.
Right.
Okay. So what you got to do is just remove the squareness that's been programmed in you. So, and I'm not dissing Conan. Is cool. Conan is
If
cool.
there were a squareness, you say.
And just let the Mac come on out, because
Okay.
I can see the Mac come out of you every now and then.
Every now and
Like
then?
when a female guest is on the show, I can see it seeping through your pores, Conan. I can see it.
I also have a skin condition.
Oh.
But to be perfectly. It's oily. All right, let's start with the way I speak. What about
Okay.
be honest.
Okay, your voice is a little high-pitched. A little bit. So what you would do...
You laughing it up over there, Nicole? You having a good time? Yeah. Enjoy
So
yourself.
what I would do with you, Conan,
Yeah.
I would give you what I call the slow and low technique.
Slow and low.
Slow and low. When you talk slower, your voice automatically gets lower.
I think he also has that principle for when you talk slower, you try to sound smarter. Because every time I've seen him try to argue with somebody, he does kind of do that slow kind of talk to degrade or to demean somebody here.
It's like the Barry White effect. And when you talk low and slow, it gives a melodic, hypnotic tone that seduces women.
So if I had more
There you go.
this way of speaking, then that would...
You're getting them. That's it. That's it, Conan. You're getting you there. That's it.
Is this hot, Nicole? You like this?
Really hot.
I don't know what that means, Nicole.
So, I guess you get the gist of it at this point. Our boy was a player. But not only was our boy a player, he was also a freestyle rapper.
Revolutionary, let this be a demonstration. Y'all scared of revolution, so y'all pushing reparations. Fuck the oppressors, man, we gotta take the shit back. Cause no amount of money they give you could bring your folks back. I'm really trying to open your mind, just give me time. If you stop trying to judge me, you see we on the same side. We should be in them pyramids or chilling on the beach. But instead, y'all being misled by this lame Tariq. Look, racism and hatred is all he teach. He make money from y'all, and so his life's complete. But where the real leaders at, willing to fight for this shit? If Fred Hampton was alive, he would be liking this shit. I feel like a young lord who fought with the Black Panthers. And once we stand together, the government gotta answer. They gotta keep us separated, keep it on the D-Lo. I got love for FBA, sincerely a Latino.
Response time?
Let me address this nonsense real quick. Let me address it. Check this out. Listen, I'm gonna take a quick second to address this clown. I come from FBA lineage. I stand 10 toes down. I meant what I meant, and I said what I said. I ain't taking advice from somebody who fled. Talking about our reparations claim, you sound lame. It sounds like you're just ashamed you got nothing from Spain. Instead of pocket watching us, pocket watch your home. Cause when things got rough there, your ass was gone. You pudgy little bastard, go eat you a salad. Sitting over there, looking like a broke DJ Khaled. I got something for you, like I'm your employer. I'm sprinkling truth, like you sprinkle Goya. You ran from your homeland and fled with the quickness. Now do me a favor, stay out of FBA business.
Our boy Tariq Nasheed, the race rapper here, destroying Goyas and Juans on their on his show whenever he can. So now how is Tariq Nasheed spreading his rap message nowadays? With AI.
Why do you FBA niggas hate me so much? Why are you so divisive? I thought you were my brother, man. Why do you call me a tether? Because I fled from the motherland. I cried, I whined, I cried to you niggas. I cried, I whined, I cried to you niggas. I cried, I whined, I cried to you niggas. I cried, I whined, I cried to you niggas. Tears fall from my eyes like a gentle touch. Why do you FBA niggas hate me so much? Why do you call me a scammer and you point out my scandals? You niggas make fun of my flip-flops like you make fun of my sandals. I cry, I whine, I cry to you niggas. I cry, I whine, I cry to you niggas. I cry, I whine, I cry to you niggas. I cry, I whine, I cry to you niggas. You said I fled my homeland on a boat or an airline. You say that I work for Postmates and you make fun of my hairline.
Now, chat, what could he have possibly meant by that? What could he have possibly meant by that fucking video?
Let's go to jail for turning tricks.
Look at this.
Politician like, and a couple 100,000 doesn't.
There he is.
Till now.
Anybody can say there's a pimp. I go to a club and a lot of young guys, I'm a pimp, I'm a pimp, I'm a pimp. But you can tell them the attitude. I even wrote a book on the game, man. I got a book. I'm one of the 5 pimps in history to actually have a book about the game. That's why I'm so well known around the country, besides my impeccable pimping skills.
So do you think
he's got that slow talk? The slow talk he was talking about earlier.
I see them selling themselves out. We've tried so many things to get some order. Yeah, well, it's all failed. So you're like the last resort, all right? If you can go down there as our pimp and bring some order to this house of ill repute, I think America would applaud you.
Will America applaud a pimp? I'm gonna show
if
them
you how
do
real
that,
pimp- yes, if you do this, if you slap them around a bit and get them, knock some sense into their head, and at the very least, if they're going to be whores for the people.
Okay, well, I will pimp for America. How about that?
Oh my god. Oh my god. He goes to the fucking K-Flex in DC, baby. How ignorant. I'm waiting for him to say the line. Let's see if I can pull up the Sam Hyde video. It's just got this mad energy.
You know what it is. Your boy Sammy D. Still a nigga. I wake up every morning, I put on my fancy clothes. I put on my freshest hat. I put on my nicest wares. Okay? At the end of the day, I still get my clothes from a motherfucking bin. Still a nigga.
He's got the same fucking energy.
Cadillacs, Mercedes-Benz, buggy-out Benz, the big body Benz, right? Still a nigga. I drive fancy cars, but I'm still a nigga. Still the nigga. I may wear fancy diamond jewels, but I'm still a nigga. Now see, I might be going to a job interview, and I might have to say yes sir, and button up my short. But let me tell you this, let me put it to you like this. If they be treating me at that job like a nigga, I'll be doing some niggerish shit.
Same fucking energy, chat.
This is K-Flex.
We got the Red Pill No Fap anthem.
We're gonna drop this one for all the brothers out there.
Our boy Tariq Nasheed.
Going out like tricks.
Our boy K-Flex.
We're gonna have to teach you brothers how to reverse the game. Don't go out like a lame. All you brothers out there taking these ladies out to Red Lobster. Brother like me straight taking them out to the Red Cross. Get them a free meal. Because the game is new and the game is true. And the ladies, they know what to expect when they go out with K-Flex. Come to my house, baby, all you gonna get is a big bowl of cereal. Baby, it's on you. So brothers out there, next time a female steps to you with the okie doke, you look her in the eye, fellas, and you tell her this right here.
I'm not a trick, I'm not a trick. I'm not a trick, I'm not a trick, baby. I'm not a trick, I'm not a trick.
You hear him, chat? Our boy K-Flex is not a trick.
Girlies were giving me the eyeball. As soon as night falls, I'ma crawl off in some draws. I'm at the underground, I'm macking this girl from Spelman. She's taking me to her dorm. I'ma deliver just like a mailman. But hold up and slow up a minute. Yeah. Before I smacks the booty. What's that? You take me out to dinner. What? You take me to a movie. What? Cause if you think that I'm gonna trick to hang around, what's that? That ain't me. It ain't. That ain't my cup of tea. That's right. One thing I learned while I was living up in South Central. What's that? Reverse the game and don't go out like a lame. Right.
So now, chat, now that our boy has moved on from being a Mac, being a gangster, being a pimp in the streets, what is he doing? Simping for commies. Fidel Castro worked with many African leaders like Kwame, Nkrumah, Mandela, and Malcolm X. People are celebrating the death of former Cuba President Fidel Castro by saying he was a tyrant. Once again, spelling tyrant incorrectly. Yet black people here are being legally executed. Oh, Lord, chat. Simping for Cuba. I'm under U.S. Nazi occupation right now as a non-white person. Oh, and the spurgery never ends with Tariq Nasheed. To Muslims, we weren't. Ottoman slaughtered my people, so chill with your evil whitey oppression, innocence mutt. That's a complete lie. You don't even know your own history. Thank you, Tariq. I'd imagine from all of those Mac session videos and all of the music he's dropped, of course he's had to make some sort of money. Have people started arbitrarily blaming the Ohio State University shooting on Black Lives Matter yet? No, they're blaming it on white supremacy. How's your non-black boyfriend doing? Absolute fucking mad lad on Zitter all the time. So it looks like there's another mass shooting by suspected white supremacist males again, this time at UCLA. There's this time video. Many East Indians are classified as white. That's why eyewitnesses of the UCLA shooter said he was white. Nasheed is basically black Mike Cernovich. Got his start with creepy pickup artist shit. Now is a conspiracy theorist nut. Literally being compared to the guy who had his wife have her period so he can smell it. So our boy Tariq Nasheed is a bit of a race scripter here. But he's also a film genius. So Tariq Nasheed has made music that has impacted time. Written books that have transcended generations. Has made videos and rap battles to assert his dominance. But now, we have his masterpiece. The Buck Breaking. Now, I'm not trying to watch all of this chat. We're going to give this a moment. We're going to skim through it. And we're going to listen to the beauty.
Buck breaking is a show of power. It's a show of dominance. So we can't talk about buck breaking without talking about power.
The dominant society, they spend a lot of money and resources pushing different types of agendas to black society because they try to confuse us sexually, and if they can confuse you sexually, as our brother Neely Fuller said, they can confuse you in any other type of way.
When we look at the domination of black people by the dominant society, what we are in essence seeing is that this society wants to ensure that we are not able to actually mete out that thing that makes humans exist, and that is creating families and procreating.
See, psychologically, when we're talking about the sexualizing of our people, primarily from the dominant society or the system of white supremacy, it had to be established in a very impinging way from the mental state, meaning everything that was done had to have a sexual undertone. Most of the time, it was mostly direct. So you had to enforce a level of dominance sexually in order to destroy the mind and the spirit simultaneously.
So you ask, what is always on the precipice of the mind of the Tariq Nasheed type Nation of Islam 5%er people? And that's gay interracial sex. Dick is always on the mind when it comes to these people. Everything is always Muddick or I was raped. My ancestors were raped, sorry. But it always leads down to the same thing. We was raped.
So it was always, everything that I do, I'm going to reinforce it sexually. Everything that I say, I'm going to reinforce it sexually. Everything that I am going to manipulate and use on you has to be done sexually in order for you to understand.
Police arrest to the buck broken mind is a sexual thing. Where the police arrest is going to lead to a raping, whether physically, spiritually, emotionally, or even through a transcendence of time ancestrally.
That you are controlled. You are my slave. You are beneath me in every single way, shape, and form.
This whole notion that masculinity is somehow toxic and detrimental to society is nothing but an attempt to emasculate black.
Take away something. He's just straight up giving you the thug shaker. Oh my god. Holy shit. Let's see if we can find a clip for this.
Oh, you got an ass on you, all right. That's what I'm talking about. Spread your ass open, dude. You could do the rump shaker, huh? Give me a thug shaker, dude. Shake your ass. Take your hands off it and shake that shit. Pull your shirt up. I know you can shake it. Shake it. Yeah, that's some thug ass right there. Oh, yeah.
I put the new 4G's on the G. I trap into the bloody bottom. My niggas got it out the streets. I keep 100 racks inside my G. I remember hitting them all with a whole team. Now niggas can't answer calls cause I'm balling.
The meme. The meme chat. It never ends.
I put the new 4G's on the G. I trap into the bloody bottoms. I keep 100.
Oh my god. Holy shit. The meme persists, chat. It gets even better. It's even in the Boondocks. Oh my god.
Understand, little man. This is about thuggin' love. I loved you, man.
What?
You broke my heart, man.
What the?
Oh no.
Yeah.
Still kissing.
Yeah.
Oh, they
That's so nasty. Aaron Magruder was also ahead of his time.
I was on tour. You gotta understand I was lonely. Oh, God.
Turn around, nigga. Go forward, nigga. We're gonna together, man.
Lincoln.
Huh? Shit, we missed.
I can't believe this, man. We suck.
Or even this.
Hey, get back here!
When Lockup visited Kentucky State Penitentiary, we met Fleece Johnson, a longtime inmate who practices a very different kind of homosexuality.
But we have sexual desires, right? So you got a bunch of men locked up in one place. All of them get hard. All of them's horny. All of them got sexual desires. So what are they gonna do? You won't let them have a woman. They gonna have each of somebody's gonna have to give us some booty. And it's just that simple.
The most memorable story that Fleece told us was about the place and importance that booty has in a maximum security penitentiary. And he went on about it and on about it.
In his prison, booty. Booty was more important than food. Booty, a man's butt.
The buck broken mind.
I'm sorry. It was more booty, having some booty was more important than drinking water, man.
The buck broken mind.
I like booty.
Johnson went on to tell our crew how he used to satisfy his sexual desires. especially during the 1970s and 80s, when he was most active and prison security was more lax.
When I see one, and he looks good to me, when I go see him, I say, you come here. I say, I'm telling you what, I like you, and I want you. And we can do it the easy way or the hard way. So the choice is yours, right? And it was always yes.
Johnson also
It was
had a warning
always
for the new
yes.
generation of inmates. They might be asking for trouble from old-timers.
You know, they got this thing where they sag their pants past their butt. It's a style. They call it some sort of gangster
They
style.
passed
You know,
the
it's
buck.
sexy to us, right? And see, but they weren't prepared for this, right? So you sag your pants in her, man, somebody be up in your butt, you know. And it just
Johnson even let the lockup crew know that when he was in his prime, they wouldn't be safe from his advances either.
If y'all had been in her back then in them days, and as much as I like booty, I probably felt one of y'all butts as y'all was walking past me and dared you to say so. I'm not no shame in my game. This is nothing that I'm ashamed to admit. I am what I am. I'm a warrior too, you know, so let that be known. I'm a warrior.
You heard it first, chat. The booty warrior. But where did that idea come from, chat? Where could it have possibly spawned from? Not from these types of ideas perpetuated since the Nation of Islam.
Right to deny sex acts that go beyond norm, then you violated the human being space of that person.
Uh-oh.
It's clearly an agenda. If you have two eyes in your head and you're able to see, you can see that it's an agenda, and it's an agenda to decrease our population.
See, LGBTQ is like a political party, like the Democrats or the Republicans. So if you're black, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be a Democrat. You could be an independent or a Republican.
It's always been about destroying the black family. The family's the foundation of a people. You can't mistreat people if they're unified. You need division. You need all sorts of pathological behavior and conduct.
Give him the thug shaker.
People like us, we're first orders. Why? Because we don't need anybody else's energies except our own. But second order entities need to feed on you because they don't have a direct connection to the One Most High.
The heterosexual black male is last on the pecking order here in America. If you're just a heterosexual black man, how are you gonna beat the case? Because when you show up to court, when you show up to the job interview, when you show up to wherever, you coming in here as a heterosexual black man, you have no power.
When Mark Twain confessed that we white people ground the manhood out of the Negro.
Oh my god! And this has been the meme in the black community recently that whites in the past ground up their slaves and ate them. And they just cannibalized their slaves.
Why ground the manhood out of the Negro? Because it's black masculinity that most exposes the fraud of white masculinity.
We as the progenitors of culture, the ones who are the fathers and mothers of civilizations, who taught all people, who people look to for social cues, whether they want to realize it or not. I think they feel if they can get us to adapt to it, they can get everybody to adapt to it.
If anybody should have a problem with European males, it should be the European female. Because everything the European male has ever learned to do to us, he first practiced on his own woman.
Oh my lord. You hear that, chat? You European males decided to brutally beat your women. In order so you guys can rape slaves better. In order so whites could rape their slaves better, they would beat their women mercilessly. Oh my god, the slopification of history continues.
We need resources in education, we need resources in labor, we need resources in politics, we need resources in medical, we need resources in so many things, but they ignore that and they put millions and even billions of dollars to tell us that you need to really embrace your LBGT side. So these people have an agenda, and it's up to us to understand what the agenda is.
Oh my god, chat. The buck breaking.
In order for us to fully grasp the concept of buck breaking and the historic sexual exploitation of black people.
Okay. Before we continue forward with this, let's take a small break. I'm going to be playing a couple of the intro videos back, and then I shall return momentarily.
Nigga, you about to come? Hold on, nigga, you better pull the fuck out. Nigga, I know you is not coming to me. Nigga, is you nutting in me? What the fuck? Is you nutting in me?
Get straight out the boat.
I told you can't sit a real bitch down. Okay. You ain't finna have me cooped up in the house. Yeah. You got 24 hours to pull up with that motherfucking pill, nigga. The fuck? Bitch. I'm so tired of taking D plan B's. What? This nigga won't stop nothing in me. Yeah. Soon I had his baby, he gon' say I drive him crazy. Nigga, please stop fucking nothing in me. I'm outside this summer. I'm shaking my ass. I'm on the scene with all the niggas who throwing that cash, cause where the bag at? Nigga know he gotta spin it. On the way I'm coming over if I know that dick hit. Make him pull out when he shoot. He tryna trap you, bitch. Who? I ain't going out without a fight. Me and my nigga beefing, I ain't going home tonight. We outside. He tryna trap a bitch. I ain't going. When you met me, nigga, you knew I was home. We fell in love cause I fuck like a pro. I'm so tired of taking D plan B's. This nigga won't stop nothing in me. Soon I had his baby, he gon' say I drive him crazy.
Big day for a big motherfucking reason, nigga. Ay, I know my pussy a trap. He can't hit from the back. He gon' try to keep it in, but I don't play like that. Where the fuck is the money? I wanna fuck in the bank. He tryna trap a boss, bitch. He want a baby with dank. Nigga, get the fuck out of my face. You ain't no hitter, can't shoot in my club. All of your niggas be showing me love. I know I'm pretty, let's keep it a bud. Hit it tomorrow, hit it today. Nigga, you really go nut in my what? Nut on my face, maybe nut on my butt. Nigga been mad, he ain't hitting the mud. I'm in the club with no panties on. I wanna take your man home. I wanna hit it for weeks. Hit it today, better have a plan B. What a mistake, abort the baby. I'm that bitch, don't play them games. They so good, but you better pull out. Nut on the bed, nigga, nut in my mouth.
I'm so tired of taking D plan B's. This nigga won't stop nothing in me. Soon I had his baby, he gon' say I drive him crazy. Nigga, please stop fucking nothing in me. We outside. He tryna trap a bitch. I ain't going. When you met me, nigga, you knew I was home. We fell in love cause I fuck like a pro. I mean, I just feel like I'm that bitch for real. I just feel like you niggas ain't fucking with me. I mean, you ain't finna try me with no motherfucking baby, nigga. What the fuck I look like? C9 for 9 months. The fuck? I'm outside, bitch. It's summertime. I'm outside shaking ass. I'm outside looking for the niggas. You already know what the fuck going on, bitch. Kayla Ma, Big Dang. We in this bitch.
Alright, I'm back, chat. Now, let's get back to watching the beautiful masterpiece that is buck breaking.
Under the global system of white supremacy, we first have to go back into the history of Europe, and we have to understand what created this ideology and the mindset of the white supremacists.
The European culture have no history of a civilizing educational process called culture before they meet us. So you're dealing with someone that's moving from the level of the animal, responding only to instincts and desires. And whatever it takes to fulfill that, raping, murdering, plundering, pillaging has been the history of Europe.
They created a perverted way of looking at nature. And so it becomes important that when we look at them, it's not just what they do, it's the perversion of what they do. In an ice age, you're going to create a certain mentality. When you are in a sun age, you're going to create a certain mentality. So what is very natural becomes unnatural in the ice. However, when you come back to the natural, you bring your unnatural with you.
The European sexual culture operated at the level of animal, responding to physical urine and physical stimulation.
Fuck breaking even during prehistoric times, chat. The fucking way that they like to depict it.
That the African placed on giving birth was just the complete opposite in Europe. And so that's why you find so many occasions of Europeans involving themselves with the animals they were raising. I mean, they've passed laws in Scandinavian countries, even today, that said having sex with sheep is appropriate.
The Greeks had gods devoted to, like Pan, which is a freak, like a satyr, which means like an animal that did people and animals. Or Ganymede, the god that was bisexual. If he showed up, you had to like give him some. It was good. If you didn't, you got in trouble. I mean, you have people have a pantheon where you have gods that are freaks that come and screw people. Some of them are almost animal-like. You've got Bacchus. If you look at, I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen pictures of Bacchus, but I've seen a picture of Bacchus where he's a dude.
I'm gonna have to censor this stream.
With hummingbirds or something with strings holding his penis up. A big long penis, a big thing of booth. If that's your God, okay, I mean, all bets off the table that it stops there, right?
When the Aryans, the Indo-Aryans, ran up into Black India, not only did they savage the place, not only did they brag and boast in their sacred literature about flaying the black gods, flaying the blacks.
Let's skip ahead.
7,000 years ago.
My apologies for not being able to watch the entire documentary through here, chat, or at least like large portions of excerpts. It's just the homosexual mind here that these gentlemen contain is constantly with the exhibitionism, trying to show you exactly what they portray in their mind. And I think YouTube TOS would have a few choice words with these gentlemen.
Across the mountains. And when they came back across the mountains, they brought that mentality with them. When you're in the ice, you're not really thinking about healthy relationships. And quite frankly, when the urge hits, any hole will do.
Heterosexual sex for the white man, the only purpose of that is procreation. In fact, sex with a woman was a necessary evil to white folks. For pleasure, homosexual sex is preferred.
Oh my god, chat. Before we progress further into this film, I'm going to take small little divots out and try to oh my god, Lord Jamar is in this film. That's amazing. I'm going to try to fill in a little. So these homosexual urges that they talk about leads me into my next topic of choice. My favorite rapper, your favorite producers, or your favorite producer, Mr. Kanye West. Cue the video, ladies and gentlemen.
that you left me, I didn't get no sleep that night. And that one time that you left me, I took 10 bursts to get high. 10 bursts to get high. Pray that I don't die. But if I die, you in the sky. 2 bites of the quake, quake. Don't leave, just stay, babe. Let's go on a vacay. Leave the world behind. Leave the world behind. Leave the world behind. Nitrous don't help me, it just put me in a trance. I'm talking about euphoria, I'm not talking about a man. Told her don't leave me, cause I need you by my side. As long as you don't leave me, then I'll probably be alright. Then I'll probably be alright. Then I'll probably be alright. 10 bursts to get high. Pray that I don't die. But if I die, you in the sky. 2 bites of the quake, quake. Don't leave, just stay, babe. Let's go on a vacay. Leave the world behind. 10 bursts to get high. Pray that I don't die. But if I die, you in the sky. 2 bites of the quake, quake. Don't leave, just stay, babe. Let's go on a vacay. Leave the world behind.
My apologies, chat. That was Kanye Omari West, the genius of our times, the musician of our era. And now, I'd like to get into a little bit of posts from his thread here. So now I'm just going to be going through his thread without actually picking things out. I will remember certain things here and there about Kanye, but let's start. Let's start the thread. Kanye is a voice of a generation, not a lolcow. Kanye West is currently going apeshit on Twitter, posting every page of what appears to be his contracts with his label. Anybody want to be the champ and archive that shit? So, archives. Make Kanye take his meds again. Here are the contracts he posts. Def Jam Records. And here's him pissing on his Grammy. If any of my fans want to call a white supremacist, this is the editor of Forbes, and he just straight up doxes a full phone number. 90% of record contracts. So, Kanye kind of took an opposite turn of Tariq Nasheed, another generational rapper, whereas one became a bit of a black supremacist. Kanye actually went the opposite direction and dropped a beautiful banger such as this.
Man, these people took my kids from me, then they froze my bank account. I got so much anger in me, got no way to take it out. Think I'm stuck in a matrix, when I fuck's my nitrous. Yes, I am a cook, I like when people fuck on my bitch. The shit that I'm posting on Twitter, they telling me, hey, don't say that. How niggas can't see me in public, I'm driving an all-chrome Maybach. With all of the money and fame, I still
And an Ultima.
With all of the money and fame, I still don't get to see my children. Niggas see my Twitter, but they don't see how I be feeling. So I became a Nazi, yeah, bitch, I'm the villain.
Oh.
Nigga, how Hitler? Nigga, how Hitler? They don't understand the things I say on Twitter. Nigga, how Hitler? They don't understand the things I say on Twitter. All my niggas Nazis, nigga, how Hitler? Nigga, how Hitler? Nigga, how Hitler? All my niggas Nazis, nigga, how Hitler? She wanna fuck with Japan, I put the chrome on the Benz. Nigga, how Hitler? She reaching down.
Amazing. Absolute amazing banger, chat. since then, he had been trying, well, even just a little bit before that, he had been trying to prove that he was / our guy.
Because I don't agree with someone that doesn't believe in Christ saying, you're cool, you're cool, you're cool, not you. And this is my friend, right? This is my boy, but we can agree to disagree, right? But it's still his platform. It's up to him. But also, I'm not a person that's going to say, hey, I agree with everything. There's things that I said today that you guys don't agree with because you're not in the same place or in the same position in your walk that I'm at. I'm in a position where I love
my God,
the person
Nick Fuentes is there.
the doctor that had plastic surgery on my mom. I always have been in a way where I can't hate.
You said your mother was sacrificed. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, I believe that Michael Jordan's dad was sacrificed. I believe, didn't something happen with Tiger Woods?
Yeah.
My mom, these are all Zionist sacrifices that happen. But this is Satan at the end of the day. There's a lot of people that feel like we're at the end of days. And Jesus runs the world. God runs the world. Jesus is the real king of Israel. And I'm just a simple servant of God. I'm not a mathematician.
Oh, no, I hear you. You said white lives matter because I think I'm going to put words in your mouth. You understood that they're trying to demonize white people to create a crisis and for us to fight with each other. I thought that was very true. I think all lives matter, but you went even stronger and said white lives matter. You got criticized for that. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, I thought that was my right. I felt that I just exercise rights that are only given to whites. A white person can wear a T-shirt that says Black Lives Matter, but for a black person to wear a T-shirt that says White Lives Matter, that somehow makes me racist.
See, it's kind of a weird, complete and total contrast of what Tariq Nasheed is. It's almost like a reverse image where Kanye, they had the kind of like similar ideas in their upbringing about white America and what it means to be black. And one went the direction of making buck breaking, while the other went the direction of going on Alex Jones saying Netanyahu.
So I love just going up and saying, hey, what do you think about this? What about that? And if we don't use our consciousness, they're trying to beat us into our consciousness and make us ignorant. They want to dumb us down. And I'm probably the lowest IQ here of anyone speaking, and I'm saying, say out loud what we feel. We would no longer be ran by the idea of fake influence and celebrities.
I'm going to interrupt you.
No, hold on, Alex, don't interrupt me. I denounce every celebrity. I denounce every celebrity I ever stood next to. God bless you. And you know, that's the Christian word of what I really want to say. Any celebrity, only celebrity that I rock with is Ray J. Literally.
My God, look at these fucking cucks on the right.
Come see me when y'all want to see me. Every fake gangster, so-called killer, any basketball player, any rapper, any actress, any musician, any model, any editor. Come see me. Come see God's child right now. Please. I want it. I want to see my mama. You know what I'm saying? Dude, you can't touch in Jesus' name.
Well, that's right. You're not Hitler. You're not a Nazi. You don't deserve to be called that and demonized.
Well, I see good things about Hitler also. Every human being has something of value that they brought to the table, especially Hitler. How about that one? They want to separate and confuse the Christians and make us afraid to stand next to each other. A Christian can stand next to anyone. We can go visit R. Kelly in prison. We can go talk to Harvey Weinstein.
That's what Jesus did.
Yeah.
Was Kanye truly ahead of his time when he saw the end of the post-war world era? Well, the world post-World War II is crumbling. And I'm wondering if this is an actual reverberation of that idea just manifested in Kanye, someone who intuitively understands but doesn't fully, completely comprehend what's going on.
Yes, because Jesus can save everyone. You know, you put on the whole armor of God and they will not be able to break your spirit.
Okay, so I played those clips in its entirety because I realized a lot of people.
Who the fuck is this? I didn't realize this was somebody else's fucking podcast. Well, either way, fuck that guy. This is the part I was also looking for.
I've got the perfect answer for the ADL. They are going to have to listen up. What we did is we brought Netanyahu with us.
I mean, I'm in the twilight zone right now.
Netanyahu, what do you have to say? What do you have to say to Alex Jones right now, Nick Fuentes and Ye? It was bad. It was bad for Trump to meet and Ye. Okay. I had no idea your voice is going to sound like that, Netanyahu.
The net and you. Kanye, truly the voice of a generation here. Oh my god. Let's see. Another thing when it comes to the gay coddling of the thug mind here. Yo. Oh, no. We can find the actual version. Come on, it's South Park. It's in the fucking game. I can play this on stream. It's been played 1 billion times. Looks like I'm never talking to Kanye ever in my life.
Let all my fans know I love them, but a gay fish just can't live in the outside world forever. Don't be sad for me, guys. I'm going home.
Oh my fucking god.
I've been so sad and down, couldn't understand why haters joked around. I wanted to be free with other creatures like me, and now I got my wish. Cause I know that I'm a gay fish, gay fish, gay fish, yo. Motherfucking
gay fish, the further thugification.
Making love to other gay fish, gay fish. Lonely nights at the grocery store in the frozen fish aisle, feeling like a whore. Cause I wasn't being true, even though everyone said that I had to make a switch. Gay fish, now I know that I'm a gay fish, yo. Motherfucking gay fish, gay fish, yo. Going on a gay fish.
The further thugification of the mind, friends. My whole point of bringing Kanye on here is because he is exhibiting what his cohorts talk about in buckbreaking. The homosexual tendencies and the schism in his mind. And his friends, I believe Talib Kweli is in this video or documentary here where he talks about homosexual tendencies.
When Europeans ventured out and first began to interact with black society, there was a notable contrast of sexual behavior between these two cultures.
Typically, when people talk about buckbreaking, they start on the plantation and they begin with sexual abuse that our ancestors suffered on the plantation. But that sexual abuse started in West Africa when the Portuguese first encountered the West African men and women.
When we see all of the statues of naked Greeks and Romans with their extremely
early form of buckbreaking, the castration of black males and turning them into eunuchs began to happen on a regular basis.
They said the eunuchs would be sometimes so
there he is, it's Lord Jabbar.
To the king that they would get so much information. So they'd castrate them so that they couldn't start their own dynasties. Okay, they couldn't go out and now impregnate somebody with this knowledge, this king knowledge.
They would castrate them by cutting off their testicles and their penis completely because of population control and due to them not wanting them to procreate. This goes all the way back then, and they did not want any spread of them because they didn't consider them to be human beings. So at that time, the castrating and the creation of eunuchs was, we don't mind allowing you to be around us, but we have to make sure that you can't dominate us. That you
Oh my god. The same physique that I've seen in a different fucking video by a different black man, which is absolute. Let's see if I could pull this one up. I'm not going to be able to play a lot of I'm not going to be able to play a lot of the video here, since this is still a song. See if I can find a good image of our boy here.
Can't take the noise, got no
Got this kind of fucking energy right here. Let's see if I can get it.
everywhere. People pissing on. Broken glass everywhere. People pissing on the stage.
There you are. There you are. It's got the same kind of fucking energy. The way he's wearing his fucking hat and everything.
You have no power drive, that you have no interest whatsoever in our women because you're going to destroy our numbers and you're going to increase in yours and you're going to spread, and we don't want that to happen. So they wouldn't mind having little black boys or black men around them as long as they could not actually be considered men and do anything that would be of interest to the women that they had.
Or you look at the ancient Greeks, you know, the most feared fighters were the gay ones. And what would they do? They would tie two guys together at the ankle. If you've ever heard the expression, joined at the ankle, that's because they get two guys that liked each other, tie their ankles together. They die for each other, put them up. They fight anybody. You can go touch my man, I'll kill you. Don't look at my man.
Yeah. Well, why would anybody be shocked about a gay person in Africa when you've got the Catholic Church, which is a gay institution, a continuation of the Greco-Roman pedophilia and homosexuality in Africa, dominating these people for 200 or 300 years.
It is the case that there is evidence of homosexuality prior to the colonialism of the 19th century. But that pre-colonial homosexuality are white Muslims. It's
just two dudes.
Pre-European, it's still foreign and white. It was the Turks who brought in the Mamluks. When the Mamluks, the slave soldiers of Islamic civilization, who were Turks, when they ruled Egypt, they brought homosexuality to Africa.
I think it's really interesting that right in the center of St. Peter's Square, when the Pope opens the shades to his window, he looks out at the structure that is often called the obelisk today. We should know that the obelisk is the symbol of the Tsar's erect penis.
Oh my god. So, before we go back to that nonsense, I'd just like to pull up a little meme here that's been posted a million times. Let's see if I can find it here. I don't think it would be wise to search that. Let's see if I can have it my own reply. I'm scrolling, chat. It's gonna have to be a bit of a scroll since I fucking post so much. By the way, follow me at Nova Everlasting on Zitter. Ignore the Margaret Sangers. See if I can fucking find it. My apologies for the dead air chat. I'm here. You know what? Let's throw one of these on. That's why I have them. Okay, I found a chat. So whenever this idea is talked about, this and that obelisk that they talk about, it's this. The mud dick. The expression that indicates blank confusion and a lack of understanding when confronted with something cannot understand or respond to the Brazilian mumble, mud dick, or mud dick, motherfucker. This is usually followed by crotch grabbing and foot shuffling. This is the meme that comes to mind.
So that while they're removing penises,
spirit of black families.
Because in the patriarchal context, the male is considered the strength. And so if you break the male, then you break the woman and you break the children. So when I think of buck breaking, I don't solely think about just the male per se. And then we have to understand that it also wasn't just sex either. You know, when you're breaking somebody, you can break them spiritually, you know, do different things. It doesn't have to be just sodomy. And so a lot of us, when we focus on buck breaking, we think about the African man or the African captive being taken out, you know, on the plantation, being brought in front of, you know, the women and children, and
the homoeroticism in this fucking documentary is crazy.
Is not being able to protect your children, being able to protect your women, not being able to provide for them. That's also breaking the man mentally and spiritually.
On plantations like this, we know that a lot of the black women who were enslaved here were exploited sexually, and we know this because of the offspring and the children they had. The children were mulatto, octoroon, so that was the evidence of the sexual exploitation.
Kind of like Brittany
Venti.
Venti.
What's not talked about is the sexual exploitation that happened to the black men on these plantations.
My God, where do they even find these illustrators?
That was a homosexual enterprise. British expansion, most of those colonels were homosexuals. In fact, in a very important book, Homosexuality and...
It was all gay. That's why, oh my God. That's why telescopes are shaped the way that they are. That's why, it's called a sex tent.
colonization.
So it was all gay sex.
It's documented that
all gay sex according to blacks
were all seen as homosexual playground.
Part of the whole buck-breaking process was the emasculation of the male slave. And so they would take probably the strongest, most resilient, most resistant, most outspoken of the
oh my
enslaved
God,
to
this
make
is
an
going to have to be
example
censored
of
for
him
YouTube when it's
in front of
re-uploaded.
everyone else.
Holy
And
shit.
part of making that example of him was to go through a process of complete and total humiliation, which included public flogging, which included
as men. They would actually tie our hands down, spread our hands, spread our legs, and they would physically rape us. Slave masters would rape black men in front of his entire family, sometimes in front of the whole plantation. They bring them all out. The bigger the black man, the stronger the black man, the more they would rape him, the more they would buck him, just to make sure that none of them would be inspired to do anything to fight back.
There's a lot of evidence of the white slave owners who were practicing sodomy against the black males. You had people like Thomas Thistlewood in Jamaica who talked about some of the black men who were sodomized out there.
Where do they find these fucking illustrators?
You know, the black man doesn't really want to admit that he was in such a weakened state that he was able to be, you know, buck broken by the slave master.
During antebellum slavery, around that time, homosexuality was still illegal, but you had a lot of white men who would practice it, especially on the enslaved people that they had on their plantations. And they would also have relations with each other that was very covert, and a lot of people didn't know about it. There was one white slave owner, James Hammond. He had diaries that are infamous, and there's a book about his diaries and his life where he sent a letter to another slave owner, Thomas Withers, and they were having a gay relationship with each other, and Hammond was a known pedophile at the time. He molested some of his own nieces. So we know some of the things that he was doing to the black people, especially the black men on those plantations.
It was continually a process of making sure that there was no energy to do anything against me. You're not going to want to fight me. Why? Because I just destroyed your champion. I just destroyed your man. I just destroyed your father, your brother, your uncle, your grandfather. I destroyed him. And he's your protector because you are consciously and culturally imbued with the idea that the man is the protector and the provider. So if I destroy your protector and your provider, you will become my slave by default.
White LGBT community, they've always had an anti-black sector of their society that has always negatively targeted black people. Lord Cornbury, going back to
Lord
antebellum
Cornbury.
slavery. Cornbury was one of the first governors of the province of New York and New Jersey. He was a transgender. This was a person who dressed like a woman, and also this was the person who helped expand slavery in the
Once again, I will say, the Bucks versus Tucks war continues.
United States against black people.
The process of feminizing the native culture was to sodomize the male. Because the white man has this sick paradigm
My
that
God.
the only homosexual is the man who's being sodomized. But the sodomizer
Oh my
retains
God.
his masculinity.
A buck, male deer, etc. But they refer to us as a buck because we are like an animal, a horse. Put us in stables. They would actually take the horses out of the stables, put black men in the stables, and then bring women into each stable just so we can have sex with them and get them pregnant for a number of purposes to create more slaves.
I got some young men on the stand, and I'm using man loosely because that's a status. How do you support yourself, young man? Yo, Yana, with due respect, I got 4 ladies take care of me. They give me anything I want. They think
Oh my
I do.
God.
I got 2 of them with
Judge
they
Joe
be
Brown.
gonna Get a crazy check, the other one get AFDC. They takes care.
Judge Joe Brown, somebody that makes content, or, well, used to make a show like Judge Judy, and would have the most ridiculous of fucking people on, like a Jerry Springer style show, makes an appearance in a documentary about buck breaking.
Yeah, me. See, well, what about what you do? Well, I smooth them out. What do you do? Well, that's what I do. That just sounds like gigolo action, but see, you've been programmed to think that way. You're like a slave on a plantation. The buck who gets rewarded for knocking up all of the fillies on the plantation so master can have larger herds of livestock.
I literally have a branch of my family where the men, you put someone's testicles on the scale to see how big they are, and you let that guy be a breeder.
Oh
I'd
my
give him a
God,
$7
bro.
for
They
every
had to.
child each time.
This has to be the gayest fucking fantasy ever created by a group of people.
Woman gets pregnant. Whereas I can get the unlimited sex being, I guess, sort of fun. If that man had any connection to any one of those women or any of those children that would come from a union, he has to depersonalize that because it's work.
But more than that, we were also, we couldn't be men, right? And that dynamic in and of itself became a problem. We were perceived as cattle. We had gender, we had male and female, but we couldn't be men and women. Those came with legal rights. Those came with, with options in the society to express yourself. You could vote, you could buy property, you could move where you wanted to willingly. That was not something we were able to do. So this removal of man and woman, this removal of the categories of gender, dehumanized us by letter of law.
There's one very familiar story of an enslaved African woman who says that she is married to an enslaved African man. And as she is married to him, she tells the story of him climbing in her bed. And she's prepared for him. She kicks him out of the bed. And as he attempts to get back in the bed, she grabs the poker and slams it into his head. Often that story of this man whose name is Rufus is told as if he is a sexual exploiter, as if he's a rapist. But we need to think more deeply about how the system controlled black sexuality, how it undermined black womanhood, and even really undermined black manhood. He did not marry her out of choice. This was part of the crude slave breeding system. He was being forced to engage in relationships with this woman.
At one point,
Jesus Christ. Imagine growing up in a culture where this is taught to you. But that's why I feel for the black nerd that knows that all of this is bullshit. That all of his friends and family buy into this kind of shit. And then you hear this kind of documentary being made. These kind of stories portrayed as supposed to be aspects of your personal identity. And you are expected to walk through society with this kind of baggage because of these people, because of these race grifters that push this idea on the zeitgeist in the West. The ideas of academia, the common man, the brain rotted on TikTok. That this is your legacy as people. And I can see why it turns people into almost like Uncle Ruckuses. Where they revolt against their own race. Because this is the ridiculousness that comes with that baggage. A whole documentary about how your race was... It's a... Not just a document, it's a fucking sexual fetish fantasy created by this weirdo fucking rapper from the 90s. And it's being pushed as every aspect of your identity simply due to your skin color. That's why I feel that kind of a sympathy and a deep feeling for the people that are black, that are like 4chan posters, Kiwi posters, or just black nerds in general, that understand that this is literal, complete, and total dog shit. And this is the community and culture they have to live through because of the collectivization of the post-war world. It's saddening. It's absolutely saddening, Chad.
There were documents where the U.S. government took audio recordings during the 1930s and the 1940s of black people who were former slaves. And a lot of them recalled during slavery, they were degendered to a certain degree, meaning that their individual sexuality was not recognized. The black boys and girls were all treated interchangeably. And a lot of the black males, when they were children, they said that they had to wear dresses. They would put everybody in dresses. And that was a way to degender and to dehumanize a group of people. If you don't look at them as a gender or what their gender is, and you just make them interchangeable, you can dehumanize them to a certain degree. And that was a very common thing during slavery, the degendering of black people.
From what I've read, like the workloads were the same. Like we had to still do the same thing regardless if I was a woman, if I was pregnant, or whatever the case may be. I still had to do the same thing. Like the work was still required.
Someone should have told that degendering bullshit to somebody like RuPaul. Somebody who was in a song as famous as Love Shack by the B-52s is somehow oppressed and still pushing the supposed white supremacist idea of cross-dressing. When in reality, it's just gay niggas being gay niggas.
If we were out in the field, you know? So the only times my sexuality or my femininity would be acknowledged would be to fulfill the lust of the slave master. So that's what we become to base femininity to, is sex, because that's the only time we were able to show any type of femininity.
Peter Sawale was another black man who was buck broken.
Oh my God, what did he say?
Time period. He was up in New York, and he was a black man who would cross-dress, put on women's wigs, and he would prostitute himself, and he would get
oh my God,
him in alleys and finesse them and pickpocket them.
Is this the starter of the syphilis epidemic?
A lot of his victims didn't want to come forward.
The one who killed Tuskegee himself?
Who finessed them and robbed them was a black man pretending to be a woman. The media at the time gave him the nickname Beefsteak Pete because he had no genitalia and he was pretending to be a woman.
Beefsteak Pete.
that they had been taught. And incidentally, religion was used as a process of buck breaking.
Fucking
because it
poke a
was
hole,
used
Peter.
to basically make us more docile and more submissive. They would basically cherry pick scriptures and feed them to you. They would create a.
What's crazy is this guy here sounds a lot like somebody that I've heard before. His name is Captain Tarzarian. I think that's no way. He's a Black Hebrew. Let's see. I don't know how to spell his fucking retarded name. Gotta be here. I've seen him. He's right here. There's this specific video I was thinking. Andrew Wilson.
Okay, but you said that you would divorce a woman based on if she one of your children.
I answered your
Tarzarek?
question. Yes, and I said
There's nothing crazy about it. Here's why it's not crazy. I demonstrated to you that just in lieu of you having people who are not a biological parent inside of the
He
house,
sounds a lot like
right,
this
the
fucking
chances of a
psychopath
child
here.
getting hurt or injured by this other person who's not a biological parent drastically go up. I can give you all of the data on this if you'd like it. I can link it to
it
you.
one more time.
Yes, if it is the case that you live in a household with non-biological parents, your chances of injury drastically increase. Drastically increase. So if the state has custody of you, drastically increase. You have a stepdad, it increases. Stepmom, it increases. And in polygamous homes where there's more, you said yes. And then you.
So yeah, this guy right here is also this guy. Find the. I'm sorry, chat. I should have prepared for this, but I kind of thought about this on the fly. There's a very specific thing I was. It's a video where this guy goes with this white woman with the Burger King crown. This white Floyd with the Burger King crown to that compound. What is the video? Let's see. So the Black Hebrew Israelites have their own like separatist compound, but I'm trying to find where it is. Is it this video? No. Specifically where this black guy goes to their compound. What is it called? Is it called Inside Racist Cult? Bear with me, chat. I'm sorry. Alright, I think there it is.
It's the reverse KKK. The white people aren't good?
They're never good.
What's that?
It's that whip. There is a near future where justice is gonna have to be paid.
So are you racist? Nobody attractive?
That's kind of like
They're dressed as fucking D&D
certain
characters.
We don't for Africans either.
Why you say fuck me for? There is hope. There will be a time that we.
So I don't want to watch a reaction channel of it. I want to find the original video. It's got to be here somewhere. Not that one. I feel like it's by. That's not the same either. Felt like it was that guy, but it's not. come on. Where was it?
It's the reverse KKK. The white people
I don't know who the fuck this guy is.
They swear have we never been with a snow bunny. Can we all say that?
Oh my god.
Have you been with a snow bunny?
It's always the same shit with these people.
Have you been with a... We good here, bro? We good? Hey, you got a wife, gang? She hungry. What's up? Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Nobody's gonna respond. We know the types of white when they dress like to get attention, but nobody wants that for real.
I dress like a... real quick. Have y'all ever been with a...
So yeah, they remind me of these kinds of people. Let's see if I could... Black, Hebrew, Israelite... Streets. Can't find that same fucking video either. I don't know how to spell the fucking Holly, chat. Not with a few beers in me. Nor do I care to spell it. It's kind of like how Izzy says, I don't respect the name of deities that I hate. I'm not going to say the name of a deity that I hate correctly. Same thing with the Holly, chat.
Man, read what you got, brother. Not in chambering and wantonness. Not in strife and envy. The Lord said, not in strife and envying. That's what we have to be as a nation of people. We can't have strife and envy.
That's right.
Right, go ahead. But put ye on the Lord Christ, God, and make not provision for the flesh. The Lord said, put ye on the Lord Christ and make not
Oh my
provision
god, I'm
for
waiting
the
for
flesh,
that dash
God,
right.
to fulfill the lust thereof. The Lord said to fulfill the lust thereof. You make excuses for sin. You make provision for the flesh. You make a provision for a man to lie down with another damn man.
That's right.
But you make an excuse for your sinful acts and ways. God, him that is weak.
Let's see if this will make it appear. No, it's just a bunch of faggy comedians. But you get the gist. It's that crazy fucking black dude that's a black separatist that started his own kind of a compound in relation to white people trying to do their own separatist thing. I'm not talking about Ghazi Koto, which we will bring up probably later, but the Black Hebrew Israelites have their own compound now.
Bible that took out any references to justice and to freedom, and they would have these preachers go and preach messages about slaves being obedient to your masters, obeying masters. That's how Nat Turner started out.
If you go to the Bible Museum, it's not far from here. They used to have the slave Bibles. Black folks were taught that they needed to be broken and slaves to white people. They had a little perverse Bible. The fundamentals of them allowing blacks to go to church in America is accepting whatever bad happened to them as God's will.
The speech given by Sojourner Truth, Ain't I a Woman? That was based on the degendering of the black man and the black woman. She talked about how she had to do the same type of work as a man. Ain't I a woman? I got to go out here and pick the cotton like a man. Ain't I a woman? Because she was responding to the white feminists talking about women's rights. So she was being critical of the white feminist movement. But the white feminist movement, they've taken that Ain't I a Woman speech and flipped that as if she was talking for women's rights. And Sojourner Truth was talking about the rights of all black people. And she was talking against the ungendering of black people.
White supremacy is a mom and pop operation. A white mom and a white pop kick the rest of us in the ass. They steal our labor. They've
You hear that, chat? It's a mom and pop, a white mom.
How they get along once they
and a
get the
white
proceeds
pop.
in the big house, sipping mint juleps and having affairs and all. That's a different issue of how they fight each other. But ultimately, white lesbian feminism and white male supremacy are two wings on the same bird.
At some point, you had just as many white female slave masters as white male slave masters.
Get ready for some fucking cope, chat. Get ready for an incredible amount of cope right now.
And they were just as brutal as them. You know, some of the males on the plantations, they were raped by white female masters. And I know some people might think that that's odd to hear that a man got raped. But, you know, it was unconsensual sex, so it was rape. And so that's a part of buck breaking as well.
Right now we are in the French Quarters area of New Orleans, and we are right in front of the Madame Lalaurie mansion. Madame Lalaurie was a very infamous slave owner who was known for torturing the enslaved Foundation of Black Americans right in this very mansion. She was known to chain some of the enslaved people to stoves and starve them for weeks on end. She would keep enslaved people in cages and do all of these crude experiments on them. There was one.
I believe that this is where the American Horror Story idea came from for that witches thing.
Situation where one of the enslaved people had their bones broken and then reconfigured to that of a crab, so the person looked like a human crab. Conducted crude sex change operations on the enslaved Foundation of Black Americans here. Her torturous ways became so brutal. There was a very young black girl who was enslaved in this mansion. She tried to escape Madame Lalaurie, and this little girl jumped out of that top window behind us and killed herself.
Men could be the victims of rape as well, and it was a lot that happens. And even with like some of these white women, you know, they like to put on this trope that black men were just these savages, these brutes who couldn't keep their hands off of them, when it was the opposite. They were so much attracted to our men.
Oh my God.
And the men were not able to turn
The
them down.
incredible fucking coat.
So it goes both ways. We were both basically objectified to the point where masculinity and femininity at its core is just sex at this point.
After the black girl jumped out of that window, the city of New Orleans and the people found out about the crimes and the
they installed nets?
Torture chambers that were going on in this house, and they ended up running Madame Lalaurie out of New Orleans. Now, you have to be extremely horrific that white people would run a slave owner out of the city because of the cruelty to the enslaved black people. But this mansion, people still say this is one of the most haunted houses in New Orleans, and many people for years did not want to own this mansion.
Feminism wouldn't.
This, to me, reeks of this kind of portrayal in black media. Let's see if I can find it. Is it this? Yeah, it is. I think so. Here we go. This is what black people think the world is like. Just a fucking Klan rally. Just a straight up sweep. This is truly what black people think that history was actually like. And then they still make shit like this.
There's a period of great distress in the rap universe. There was a time when hip-hop was a form of empowerment Now the corporate world is quickly diluting our culture for nothing more than profit, with the ever-mounting forces of ridiculous dances, ignorant behavior, and general buffoonery. It's only a matter of time before hip-hop's permanent annihilation. This is what the future holds if it don't stop.
Howdy there, Shook. Top of the morning to you, Jive. Boy, you know this show is a good ditty right here. Massa gonna love
The good what?
You know, I was hungry. What should we eat? Some of that good old watermelon. Oh, yeah. Eat that watermelon, eat that watermelon. Surely is good. Eat that watermelon, eat that watermelon, eat that watermelon. Surely is good. W? Yeah. A. Uh-huh. T. Okay. E-R. What's next? Melon. Eat that watermelon, eat that watermelon, eat that watermelon. Surely is good. Eat that watermelon, eat that watermelon, eat that watermelon. Surely is good. Hey there, Shuck. Yeah, Jive. I think it's time to break it on down. This watermelon ain't gonna eat itself. Ham bone, where you at? Ham bone, where you at? Massa is coming. Massa is coming. Massa is coming. Hide the watermelon. Hide quick.
Amazing, isn't it? But whenever shit is brought up in the sense where Black Americans are put in this kind of like retrospect that they have no sense of will and they are completely powerless. That's almost like the dynamic that they're trying to build here. It's like Ultimate Victim, but also Shuck and Jive.
Exists were it not for black men. Okay, Frederick Douglass, Martin Delaney, it was black men who were angry that their mothers were raped by the master, beat by the master, separated from their kids. It was black men who were demanding fair treatment for women. And they gave power to those old white lesbians and the horses and buggies and so forth.
Oh my God.
Because the raping continues in the new plantations. Child and Family Services. But
it is true what Jersh says in his covering of buck breaking, that a lot of this is so fucking anti-gay, but at the same time incredibly gay, where they come up with this weird gay power fantasy and then project it onto a race. And then immediately shit on black people who are incredibly gay or cross-dress, or they talk about the white lesbians or the white man homo. It's a weird split. It's kind of like what I was showing earlier.
Public schools, the weaponized, depraved black church. Yeah, I said it just like that. And prisons. The raping
oh
of
my
black
God,
men
what the
continues,
fuck?
and for that matter, the music business or the military. I mean, most people aren't aware Jeffrey Dahmer was raping black men long before he got an honorable discharge, raping black men in the U.S. military.
This is the reason why you could draw a straight line from the image of the buck coming from the antebellum propaganda.
That's what I mean by the Shuck and Drive thing.
Images that you see on
See, look at that
today,
shit.
That you can draw a straight line between the idea of the Jezebel and images you see today. The images aren't different, they've just been updated.
But it made it make you laugh and then gross you out after.
When black people got off the plantations after formal slavery in America, the buck-breaking did not end there. In fact, the buck-breaking techniques became more systemic and they took on more violent forms, entering into the Jim Crow era.
The perception of black men in the dynamic of the plantation family, because the plantation was seen as a family. The white man was considered the father, the white woman the mother, and the enslaved were considered their children. The image of black men at that time was that we were grown children. We were to be raised, by this white family structure. The notion of the dangerous and rapist-oriented black male really doesn't gain traction until really the early part of the 20th century and middle part of the 20th century. But earlier on, there was this idea that we were feminized, we were less masculine, we were weak, we were childlike.
Well, a lot of us, prior to the work of Ida B. Wells, believed that black men were lynched because of they were sexual predators. But give thanks to Ida B. Wells' work, she found out that most of these men were lynched because they were black business owners. They were lynched because of economic envy. They were competing with white people economically.
That's why I say refer back to that Tulsa video I just showed.
And their castrating of us was the final blow all the way. That's the apex. That's the
Once again, it's like they'd never heard of the Arab slave trade. It's fucking phenomenal, isn't it? It's such a concentration on just one group of people.
Climax of that orgasmic feeling. Not only do I get pleasure out of removing his power, but by me castrating and removing his procreative organ, I actually now know that, guess what? If his is gone, mine is the only one left. So if his power is gone, his ability to be an individual, a man, a ruler, a king is completely gone. I have dethroned him. I have removed him from his God.
Riza Islam.
Now I'm by default, I become the ruler. I'm the king. I am the power source. I'm the protector and the provider. I'm the master.
There's a reason 80% of the lynch victims were not just males, young black males. It derives from the Paracelsium corpse phenomenon of Europe. What's a Paracelsium corpse? The Christians of Europe had this theology, and this undergirds the phenomenon of lynching in America. The church had this theology that every human life, that the lifespan was an energy, and every human life is endowed with a set amount.
It sounds like he's coming up with the shit on the spot.
If a human dies prematurely, he dies before he or she, but largely he, can spend all of his spiritual energy. The excess, the remaining spiritual energy can be harvested. And they said that that if a young male in particular died an immediate violent death, that's the best corpse to harvest the spiritual energy. They call this a Paracelsium corpse.
There are stories of people who still have jars containing the genitalia of black men. There are stories of people who have the labia, which has been removed of black.
No, I'm cool.
To destroy
Didn't want to see either.
Beingness. And so when you see somebody come up with natural hairdo and sacred locks and dressing in traditional clothing, first thing he sees is that that's not my slave anymore. I must now be afraid of him because the crimes I've made are so atrocious.
The fucking
Anybody
stock
around
footage
mine
videos.
won't kill me when they find out about the crimes.
The symbolism behind anything dealing with removing our power, they had to cut off anything. So the penis, they cut that off because that would hang. The hair, they cut that off because that hangs. Everything dealing with power, it stretches toward the sun. It stretches out. It shows a level of extension or existence or prolonging of its existence. So they want to make sure we destroy that.
So I think that hair has always been used as a form of resistance, especially for African warriorhood. So whether we look at the Maasai of Kenya and Tanzania, in order for them to be warriors, they have to grow locks. And so you can tell how long a man has been a warrior based on the length of his hair.
It's that video from the Carmelo Anthony protests.
Virility, which is what people often think hair is, it's a connection to virility. I think that we should expect to see that European society has problems with black.
Motherfucker is bald as shit.
Here. This should be expected. Because we don't talk about it enough, we're not clear about its manifestations. It was just last year that New York City made it illegal to discriminate on workers based on wearing African hairstyles.
White people have had control over our bodies. They've been able to control where we go, what we do, even what we do sexually, of course. But in this day and age, the slavery is not so much physical as it is mental, you know? So by telling us that having locks or having our hair in an afro or in its natural state is unprofessional, this is now a mental slavery that is taking place.
There have been so many laws in the United States that actually regulate Black women's hair and appearance. So even like the Tignon laws in Louisiana, where it was actually illegal for Black women to show their hair in public. Some say because the hair was seen as so ugly and unattractive that it needed to be covered up.
Some
most
say
it was a way to prevent white men from being attracted to the beauty of Black women. But considering that Black women had to wear head wraps, and we could create the most Erykah Badu style, that it was still attracting white men's attention, and white women could not mimic that head wrap style. And so that it actually became a threat because the white men were more interested in the Black women in Louisiana than the white women.
Out here in Louisiana, during slavery, on plantations just like this, you know, the French was dominating this area. And whenever there were Black people who ran away from the plantations, they would get branded. And the brand would be a logo of the French heraldry. It's the fleur de lis. And they would get branded on their shoulder, or they would get branded on their cheek with this fleur de lis logo. And what's interesting about this logo, now today, this same logo is the logo for the New Orleans Saints football team. So a football team dominated by Black people playing today are walking around with logos of
the irony,
slaves.
chat.
And it's so ironic.
If that's true,
that's so
the
much
irony.
of the brutality meted out against African men, against Black men, is supposedly because we are lusting for white women, something that we have no record of happening whatsoever.
In the Caucasian culture, they have this sadistic type of mentality.
In response to that, I would like to point to a video recommendation. A video uploaded by AIU a long time ago where he breaks down the Emmett Till case, where it's not what these people are trying to say, where every single time a Black man is accused of being sexually aggressive, raping, or sexually assaulting a white woman, it's just fake. It's just a misconception. AIU does an incredible video on it. 100% recommend checking it out if you can find it anywhere. If you can't, go to his uncensored.tv, give him money. Personally, I think it'd just be easier if he had a channel and demonetized it and had a Patreon. But he makes an excellent video on this, where he goes through every single aspect of the case, and even the old woman who supposedly recanted her story, how she didn't, and the biographer who was writing the story about her just decided to include that after her death. It's an incredible video. Please, if you're listening, watch that video.
When it comes to sex, where the more depraved, the more nasty, the more disgusting, the more immoral you can get, the more enticing and attractive it is. They even choke themselves while they're masturbating, while they're being, involving themselves in sex, because they believe that increases the strength of the orgasm. So that symbolically is something that they were looking at when they were lynching Black men. They would lynch us because that choking is something so they could see his power leaving his body, but they would get somewhat of this erotic type of orgasmic feeling about it.
When we talk about the white LGBT community trying to make comparisons to their struggle and Black struggle, the white LGBT community, they've never had a comparative struggle. In fact, their whiteness
you hear that, gays?
saved them, whereas
they are not your
LGBT
allies.
They've always been punished, so there has never been a comparative struggle.
As
they fucking hate you.
LGBT person or whatever the letters are, like, I don't have to know that about you. Like, you don't have to wear your sexuality on your sleeve, but there's no way that you can avoid seeing that I'm an original man.
The dominant society is backing your movement, then you're not really oppressed. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense Like if I'm truly oppressed and I need freedom and help so that I'm no longer disenfranchised, the people who are oppressing me are not going to promote my freedom. They're not going to help me to get it. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that this is being pushed and there's so much money and funding into it everywhere lets us know that you're really not honestly oppressed.
Okay. I think we get the gist so far of the buck breaking movie. Even though we're only 42 minutes. So now you say, Nova, why did we have a stream about JuneTeenth that was focused on that? What was the point in all of this? And I would like to say that JuneTeenth as a holiday, the ideas perpetuated by the Nation of Islam, Tariq Nasheed, and others that follow along, is destructive to the psyche of the just American culture, period. I believe we are in a testing phase, the same as Acculturation talks about in his videos, in the cycle of grief of American culture. And when you start to push narratives, ideologies that radicalize people based on characteristics such as race, you get almost like a kind of a racial awakening. So the Nation of Islam and the black nationalists, the Black Panthers, the Black Hebrew Israelites got their start early on during the shock era of America. At Vietnam War, a little bit after, and that further radicalized their community. As opposed to now, in about the testing era, you're getting a bit of a fucking whiplash where you get shit like this. This is footage from the Austin Metcalf stabbing. If I can find it. It's gonna be in my post, actually. Since there's a lot of it. You get shit like this. Or shit like this.
Freakshow 911, what is the location of the emergency?
Hi, we're at Kuykendall Stadium. My friend just got stabbed.
Okay, do you know who stabbed him?
We have no clue. He was sitting in our tent, but you need to send an ambulance right now.
They're on the way, okay? Give me a description of the person that stabbed him.
He was wearing a gray Essentials hoodie. He was black. He's standing out on the track right now.
He's standing on the track?
Yeah.
Okay.
His blue sweatpants on and John.
Okay, and what did he stab your friend with?
I don't know. My friend's bleeding everywhere.
Okay.
And then you get shit like this.
Wait a minute, was it a switch? I don't know what he had.
It was like it seemed like it was a multi-tool, almost like a Swiss Army.
Like with
for
the
lack of-
like with the little scissors and everything and whatever. So it was small. Well, I would have argued the size of it alone, you wouldn't even think it's a deadly weapon.
And
I
that's
forgot
why
he had it in the bag.
You get shit like that. Or if I can find in my own zitter. Let's search. I could spell. My apologies, chat. I've had a few to drink. But nonetheless, I will try to find exactly what I'm showing. Show here. No. I'm gonna have to find. You know what? Let's go to this fuckers. So I can prove my point. You get shit like this.
Hey, wasn't you on jury selection?
No, he wasn't. Man. No, he wasn't.
Or shit like this.
Push you right into that crane. You heard what I said, cracker. Neanderthal, I don't give
Or shit like this.
Killing that bitch ass white boy. And honestly, Chet, you can't really expect much in America. I didn't think you would get found guilty, but I'm not surprised by this. When you know what the criminal justice system is and what it's really meant to do, you don't get surprised at outcomes like this. They'll let that nigga Rick Chow out, but they won't free criminal Anthony. A man who actually had his life threatened by two big ass white boys. If it was me, I'd stab both the niggas. But
most importantly, free Carmelo.
Shit like that. And it doesn't end. There's more videos, TikTok videos of people uploading shit like, let's see. This.
When he drop, how the fuck you gonna stop me? Shit niggas going out back, Marlo out the box. That sound when he died. The fuck with his floor, but I got side. Nigga go text my phone, talk about he don't like my shit. He got stabbed by a knife. Bow. Austin Bob, knife had blood on the tip when he dropped. How the fuck you gonna stop me? Shit niggas going out back, Marlo out the box.
So, for decades, when you push that kind of race relation idea about white people in society, where these ideas fester through the Nation of Islam, the 5%ers, and they're pushed in rappers like Snoop Dogg, like the Wu-Tang Clan, like Ice Cube, and it becomes an ingrained culture. How do you reconcile race relations from here? How do you further, or how do you mend this divide without furthering separatist ideas like the Black Hebrew Israelites and the, what were they called? They were called something like the Hammer Coalition, ran by Ghazi Kodo, another black separatist who had his own compound in, what was it, Oregon, who ended up going to jail for, it was sexually assaulting people in the compound. So, where do race relations go from here? When you have shit like the stuff that I post on my own profile here, or let's just pull up some of the beautiful fucking media clips that I drop, that I find of shit like this. Here. Something like this. Or this. where today, in your modern life, this goes on in your neighborhood, or this stands on your street corner, where do we go from here? Where does this cycle end? And what will happen at the end of this testing era? And when this new cycle begins, when shit like this is a thing.
Forget going back to the Caucasus Mountains or caves or labs, wherever they came from. White people need a permanent removal off this planet. No people have bothered Mother Nature more than them.
Or this. What's that video called? I know it's here somewhere. It's a video uploaded. If I can't find the video here, you know what? I'm just gonna. We'll find it through here. We'll do race. Not that video. It's a very specific video PF Young dropped not too long ago. If I can find it. Ow. Bear with me, chat. I'm here to make a point. Don't believe it's this.
We do need to talk about. I'm done lecturing people on what they should and shouldn't do. I'm pointing out this is the.
No matter how many times you say, they're not all like this, they will never see you as an individual. No matter how much you fight for their rights, they will all.
Which is not that video either. Bear with me, chat. Give me a moment to find this video. Because I do think it is incredibly important.
We need to talk about one of the fundamental claims of leftists, which is that America is and useless in the Great Meme War. By the same token, what people need to realize is that there's been a generational shift to have a back this 23 million.
What's it called? John Lefevre. Let's see. There it is,
soon
right
be a
here.
minority, and that's great.
You know, whites will not be the majority. I mean,
when this is your media
it's an
pushing
exciting transformation of the country. It's an exciting evolution and progress of our country.
We are going to be a white minority very, very soon. I'm okay with that.
If things are so bad, as you say, with the white working class, don't you want to get new Americans in?
America is going to look very different in 100 years. You're not going to be able to tell you're black, you're white, you're Hispanic, you're Puerto Rican, whatever. It's going to be very complex, and I think ultimately that's going to be good.
white Americans feel that they're losing their country, they're losing ownership of the country, and they're right. In the end, they are not the future.
For the first time in American history, the number of white people went down.
White population is declining for the first time in history in America.
White people will not be the majority in the country anymore.
This will be the first generation ever in American history in which whites will be a minority.
Treason to whiteness is loyalty to humanity.
To abolish whiteness is to abolish white people.
White people are committed to being villains in the aggregate, right? We got to take these motherfuckers out.
Was it or was it not the duty of every good revolutionary to kill all newborn white babies?
We have to kill white people.
When do we start killing white people?
I don't want to say we need to go start killing all white folks, but it's like, but maybe.
When we say we want to kill whitey, we don't really mean we want to kill whitey, we do.
We have to exterminate white people off of the face of the planet to solve this problem.
Fuck white people!
An unrelenting stream of immigration, non-stop. Folks like me who are Caucasian of European descent will be in an absolute minority in the United States of America. Absolute minority. That's not a bad thing. That's a source of our strength.
So let me ask you again, chat. When these ideas are perpetuated over time, since the 50s, since the 60s, to today, the amalgamation of people like Ibram X. Kennedy, Patrisse Cullors, and Derek Bell, all of these people's ideas instill itself into holidays like Juneteenth and spread through people like Tariq Nasheed. Where do we come to with race relations when shit starts looking like this? And before I even get to them, I want to bring up something like the Belfast riots, where the Belfast riots coverage exploded and the government had to respond, and the way that the government is responding is through total authoritarianism, trying to ban large portions of the population from the internet from spreading information about what's going on in white nations to white people, and through these ideas that got perpetuated and spread. And then you get shit like this.
You're essentially
Where white people are actively calling for remigration.
Would you like me to respond to what you're saying? Because perhaps you could learn something.
Bro, I don't need you to teach me nothing. I paid attention.
There you go. You're not even receptive to what I'm going to say. Like, what if it were the case?
I paid attention. I don't want to hear your racist hatred.
Lulu, what if it were the case that you happen to be...
Or shit like this.
Your echo chamber is going to agree with you. I hear you, but this just speaks to the fundamental disagreement, and it directly downstream.
Oh, it's not that video. Some shit like this with Dr. 16.
I can say what I want, but if you want to get emotional about something that I say out of my vocal box, you can violate my personal space and commit a crime against me, and that would be justified. That's basically what you're. That's basically what you're saying.
After I get through talking about what I'm talking about,
right.
bro.
We didn't go through the train of logic.
Like I said, we need to stay on topic here. We need to stay on
that's a
topic.
good. That's a good point.
Like I said, we established that black people was everybody in Africa either was black before 1610 for the Arab invasion. All right.
And I'm black.
So now we done established that. So now we want to get to the first white people first civilization was in Greek, right?
The first
Greece,
one that,
Greece, right?
The first one that pushed like mass innovation was in Greece. Yes.
That was when y'all first started getting y'all education and all this stuff, right?
Or
if we're not gonna let safe, that's why you don't have no melanin. That's why you can't go outside and be in the sun for too long.
I was outside earlier.
You don't have all the genes to create melanin. Melanin. You don't have all the genes that black people have. So don't get it twisted, and don't
Hey,
never
my
say
IQ
you
is
better
higher
than
than
black
110, Bucko. All right. Sorry, what?
Yeah.
So wait, what's
I
the?
said don't never get it.
Why are
Don't never
you
get it
upset?
misconstrued. And I said the letters came
Okay,
are Latin.
you're right.
Came from
I'll.
Let's see. There is something specific I am looking.
The Department of Justice clearly states the opposite of what you for to the benefit of themselves, and that's what man is not criminal. That the average black man.
I want to talk about the white genocide. Oh, our race is going.
People making less than $10,000 per year, 7.2. For black people, people can't. Okay, so then
Yes,
what
exactly.
what is the question?
And they're taking that anger out on minorities. Like doing anything the minorities do is going to affect whether or not they're white oligarchs. Your leaders are going to pay you enough to support yourself. They don't give a fuck. They're outsourcing your jobs to other countries. They don't care.
What exactly do white people get from tolerating black people in our country at this point? I mean, what is the advantage at this point?
What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in with us today. We are building
Skip a little in the projects.
Majority in this country, but things happen to people, and guess what? And we see this historically. You're gonna weed out a lot of the weak, a lot of the bad, right? And those who are strong enough, this is Darwinian, those who are strong enough will prevail and will survive. Simple as that. And if that means that it's only 10,000 niggas here, oh, well, fuck it. You know, it is what it is. You know, if it's 10 million of us, it's 10. But that's just nature. My whole job, and I think our jobs as men, as we live today, is to do everything for the next generation to come by and have not an easier life, but not a lot of bullshit they have to deal with. You know, the biggest problem I have with the black community comes with a lot of the black Gen Xers. Like, they're fucking weak. They're entitled. They're always
have freedom of association. I mean, we see RTTL right now. They're trying to do an intentional whites only community. They're legally being put through the ringer right now. And so it's like I don't co-sign this idea that white people are just able to easily avoid it. And then also in conjunction with that, you're talking about the distinction between the four categories, which I think is useful if it's a black person trying to figure out how to solve the issues within their community. But to a white person, if I'm just seeing headline after headline of black people attacking white people unprovoked, why should I care about the distinction between the four different types of black people?
Because the context matters. When you're breaking down something, you're examining something culturally, historically, it's important to make these distinctions to better understand the problem, and that's something that you would do on an analytical level. So, I mean, I get that. Like I said, I understand. I've been around this scene for a very long time. I've heard all the arguments. It's like, well, if I see niggers doing this, I'm going to think it's all of them. I understand where you're coming from, but when you break it down, it's a lot more complex than that. It's like, you know what? Yes, I see this shit too, and I don't like it. I don't like being represented by it. That's why I'm saying that you don't have to deal with it. It's not like, oh, well, you're not around black people or some goofy shit. It's more of when I wake up, I'm surrounded by it, and I have to be represented by it, and it harms and affects my advancement and my growth. Now, when one of these fuckers goes, gets a bus pass and comes out to you and does this shit, yeah, it's a problem. But when it's every day, someone like me gets killed, you know, they're going to college or they're coming out the military, or they're doing something that is positive, and then one of these fuckers does something, that's a big problem. That's what I'm saying that you don't have to do. If it's not like, oh, well, you know, you're separate, and no, that's typical. Like, I'm not making that argument, but
we're
I
paying
understand
for it, Andre.
Yeah, it's a big problem. Like, do we really want to be around these people? No, you shouldn't. And I think that the problem with freedom of association right now. And now I've been following what's been going on, and this has been done throughout the years. What was the meme back a few years ago with the Northwest? They were on poll. Come out and move out to Montana. Let's get the ethno state started. And well, that fell apart for multiple reasons. But yeah, there's a lot of laws, a lot of organizations, a lot of stuff on the books that bar white people from doing this.
So, like I'm saying, when all of this builds up to where race relations comes to, one side is saying remigration, and then the other side is having to essentially ask hey, can I please stay? Race relations in America are not in a good position. And from watching Frojax, I can agree with the way that Forrest says that the perfect world would be a meritocratic society where everybody can recognize their differences and work together as a union and be able to progress themselves forward together as a nation of the United States. But because we are unable to put race aside, we are starting to rear our heads something like this, where people are trying to bring remigration, denaturalization to the table, and from what it seems like in the testing era, because we are in such a state, it can gain some steam. So after all of these fucking kinds of videos that I show on my zitter of fucking people acting a fool, being stupid, children pulling up to other children with axes.
I'm recording you because you're riding around with an axe all angry.
I ask us, where do we go from here? Where P.F. Young said, the Bobby Browns and the Willie Whites can, if they can put this idea aside, try to get along as a union. But as a current state, we literally fucking can't. We can't put this shit aside. And from where we're standing in the testing era, only one can really ponder where this is going to lead to. And where people, like I was talking about earlier, the black nerd, are going to fall in between. Where things are going to get so crazy and polarized that to people on that side, the Frojax side, it's not going to matter. The individuals don't matter. So, America, today on this JuneTeenth Eve, well, this JuneTeenth that I'm speaking to you from, I ask you, can we put the stupid fucking holidays like JuneTeenth aside? Can we start acting like fucking people? Because if we can't, this is only going to continue further down these lines. You're only going to separate people more. The argument between black and white is only going to divide people more. And America could transform into something that nobody could have ever foreseen. So we're rearing our heads towards America's 250th anniversary. And I'm going to propose that, can we truly keep our constitutional republic the way that it is? Because intelligent minds greater than ourselves came up with the idea of a perfect nation. And it's not perfect in the sense that all of the outcomes are amazing. All of the forethought, hundreds and hundreds of years, would be solidified in a almost divine way. When they're not, we're people. The men that created our country were destined by God, but they aren't gods themselves. And as people, we make mistakes. But are we able to learn from these mistakes and move forward? Or are we going to continue to revel in the past, like these cycles of grief, where some people are in denial, some people are in anger, some people are in bargaining, but no matter what, we can't get past testing into acceptance and peace. So, America, where do we go from here in this stupid fucking fake holiday? Because if we can't decide how things are going to be, the post-war world is going to end. And this next era will chew us up and spit us out as we know it. So I'm going to leave you with that. Thank you for coming to my Freakshow Friday, JuneTeenth Blackstravaganza. I hope my stupid ass point at the end, whether I don't believe it's stupid, but it was very preachy, comes off to you as incredibly preachy. I still hope that you can take the message that if your community is fucking up, coming up with stupid fucking excuses and making retarded mistakes, that we can take a moment of self-reflection and learn. Whether it be the white community, black community, I don't give a fuck. Reflection is needed so we don't cross a threshold where America becomes something that is not conceivable to what it was originally supposed to be founded. We don't get swallowed up by this post-war world. And we don't get chewed out, or we don't get spit out into some sort of fucking weird schism. Whether it be this black nationalist side, woke, DEI thing, communist shit that wins, or if America truly does go off the deep end and starts becoming an incredibly strict fascism, I ask you, if that's not the world that we're going to live, if that's not the world that you want, how are you going to change this for your own community before it's too fucking late? I don't know, chat. I'm not black. I'm not going to decide for them. So, let this just be a reflection for another year. Since Trayvon Martin died, since Michael Brown, George Floyd, whoever you want to fucking throw in this mix, you're starting to get your Arena Zarutskas, your Austin Metcalfs, and the whiplash is only going to be greater as time progresses. So, will people actually put this away? I don't think so. But either way, thank you for watching the show. I appreciate you sticking towards the end. This has been a long stream. And once again, I will say, peace the fuck out. If you don't like my country, get the fuck out. And God bless the United States.